Hello, everybody. Today I'll be presenting my thesis on factors indicative of success in the biotech sector. This is just on the preliminary findings. So to introduce the thesis, the U.S. biotech sector is incredibly large and complex, and I hope to allow it to become easily understood by people who aren't familiar with it. While a large part of my data set is the U.S. biotech sector, there's also a number of companies that aren't, but the U.S. sector makes up the most of it. I hope to examine correlations within the sector based on a lot of metrics I'll go into later. Some key terms is therapeutic focus, which is the general kind of treatments that the company makes. For example, oncology and cancer focused companies only work on cancer drugs. Some companies only work on CNS or central nervous system drugs. A lot of companies have these specific focuses in one area of the body or one target. A lot don't, but that's also reflected in my study as a mixed company, a mixed therapeutic focus company. Some other quick ones: EBITDA is a measure of income for a company, just adjusted slightly. Initial public offering is when a company goes to the primary market to make to sell their equity. And research and development spending is all the dollars they put towards producing a new drug to sell. The statement of the problem is looking at what metrics drive the most success for biopharma companies. And the significance of this is understanding what the value drivers are. And what I mean by that is understanding what makes a biotech company successful. What metrics are indicative of success? This is incredibly important to a number of different groups. Investors would be interested to predict future financial performance based off of any number of indicators, or corporate finance officers would be able to better position their company towards therapeutic focus areas that are more successful generally or more correlated for success. Looking at the literature review, it generally falls into two baskets: metric-based and risk-based. When looking at metric-based, we see there's a lot of them focusing on the financial side of things, like hard numbers. In 2016, we saw stock price, in addition to a number of things, correlated to R&D expense and the success or failure of trials. In 2020, we saw a correlation between R&D spending or revenue, or at least the attempted correlation. And in 2018, there was a number of metrics compared to each other. A lot of balance sheet metrics like market to book compared to income statement line items such as sales to research and development. And they were compared to, yet again, a number of different metrics, including ROA and ROE. And then the other side of things is risk-based literature, which basically compares biotech to the greater market or to other sectors like pharmaceuticals. And this is important because biotech is usually painted as incredibly risky, while it actually isn't in the end of the day. As I believe the 2007 study indicated in relation to pharma, and the 2021 study indicated in terms of comparing biotech to the larger market. The general hypothesis is that there is a good chance there is correlation between biotech companies performing well and a number of metrics that could define them. One of the big ones here is therapeutic focus. So therapeutic focus is indicative of their success or failure. And looking at the items of interest, we're looking at a number of factors. Measures of a company's income, like EBITDA, just plain old net income, or balance sheet metrics such as intangible assets, cash equivalents, or outstanding debt that are usually indicative of a successful company, such as you would rather have high net income and low debt. That's indicative of a good company instead of low net income and high debt, or any variation of the metrics listed there. Just variable, looking at independent variables, we see EBITDA, net income, tangible assets, cash equivalents, outstanding debt. Dependents are just proxies for different things. Market cap and share price are proxies for the success of a company as dictated by the financial market, or as understood by the financial market. And then the number of years in public markets is a proxy for longevity. And the moderator here is therapeutic focus. Methodology, the entire NBI index, which is a NASDAQ listed biotech and pharma companies as dictated by the FTSE, the FTSE's classification system. So the entire NBI, about 357 companies, which are all NASDAQ listed. And then pulling clinical trial data off of that based on Biopharm Catalyst, which would allow me to analyze the therapeutic focus in clinical trials more in depth. And as far as testability, using multivariate analysis, correlations can be determined. And regarding data analysis, there's a multiple number of software tools, including SPSS or Minitab, that could accomplish this multivariate analysis. The preliminary findings here, as you can see, there's three different chi-square tests that compare all the therapeutic focuses here to three baskets of growth, percentage growth in relation to three different things. So the one on the far left can show you non-current asset average annual growth rate. The middle one shows revenue growth compared to the therapeutic focuses shown, and the last one plots therapeutic focuses against three different baskets of R&D growth. Digging a little deeper, all the lows are the lowest possible metric to 0. Medium is 0 to 150, and high is defined as 150 and above, roughly across NCA or non-current assets, research and development, and revenue growth. I believe this is the best approach just in terms of coding these variables into something a little more broad so the data is stronger. The major findings were that there is statistical significance at p-values below 0.05 for revenue growth and research and development growth. However, there was not significant correlation between NCA growth and a company's therapeutic focus. Looking further, some things that will be done is reducing the number of therapeutic focuses so that they're slightly more broad but allow more data to be pulled in, so there's no situation in which there will be less than 5 data points for each coded growth group and the therapeutic focuses for each. And that should establish slightly more credibility in the data, not that there isn't already. The contributions to this study is expanding the literature of metrics-based literature. As I discussed, there's both metric-based and risk-based, and my study definitely falls in the basket of metric-based. It builds upon close studies such as the one by Engel et al. By expanding the variables discussed and most importantly bringing in therapeutic focus, which has yet to be explored in depth. And the practical side of this is aiding investors and corporate planners in understanding what indications or what linkages or correlations there are between certain metrics or certain therapeutic focuses in a company's success, so that they can either speculate on it or direct their company in a way that would benefit off of it, such as if oncology companies had an outsized number of successful metrics compared to a central nervous system company, that maybe that corporate planner would rather tailor their research and development towards oncology instead. So that's kind of it. Thank you for listening. Thank you.